you know,
Great
in the
arms.
sunshine.
Great arms. We're in the studio. It's dark,
yeah.
It's cold.
But we have a great guest who's coming up here. Don't hit the send on your next email message until you have listened to this. We're telling you the do's and don'ts today about email etiquette.
She's the president of the International Protocol Institute of California. How about that title? Mari Betts-Johnson is here with more. Welcome, Mari. Okay, to begin with, why do we need email etiquette in the first place?
Email communication is relatively new. We know how to write a letter, but the only difference between email and a letter is that with a letter we need to go to the mailbox and send it. But with an email, it's just one click, and it's gone.
And it's too late once it's gone,
and
right?
it's too late. And also, the well-written email shows that the company is professional and that you are professional. And the well-written email that is structured and well put together saves time. And the most important thing is when we know what to put in emails, it protects us from liability. And every employer should have a training course in place to tell the employees what is appropriate and what is not appropriate. And the story that I've heard lately was Chevron back in the 90s, the late 90s, was sued to the tune of $2.2 million because an email was sent out saying 25 things that men do better than women. And there were two female executives that brought a lawsuit against the company because they felt it was
Discrimination.
Discrimination.
Sexual discrimination.
So, you know, we really have to be careful what we put in those emails.
So business emails should be professional.
They should be professional.
Above all.
And even personal emails in a business situation, we have to be careful with those too, because it's so easy to hit the wrong button or send the message you wanted to send to your friend and send it to the boss.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a whole book somebody could write about all the mistakes they've made when they hit the send button. Well, let's talk about some of the etiquette tips that you have for us today. What are some rules? The rules of email.
Well, the first one is just like the rules of letters, of writing letters. It's the mechanics. We need a salutation. We need a good ending. We need to write in paragraphs. It's just easier to read. We have to not put everything in capitals. That gives the idea that you're angry, or put everything in lowercase. Now, people just think that it doesn't matter, just get the message across. It doesn't matter how it looks or how it reads, but it does. It all comes back to professionalism.
And punctuation and grammar,
of course, and avoid abbreviations. Another thing is confidentiality. An email is the same as sending a postcard through the mail. It is not private. So we have to be careful what we put in there.
Assume that whoever you're sending that email to is not going to be the only recipient. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly.
And your boss is going to be seeing it too.
Yeah, the boss has every right to look at your emails.
Right.
But there again, in the training program that should be in place, the boss needs to tell the employees what's appropriate and what is not appropriate. And he needs, or she needs, to tell that they're going to be looking at it ahead of time.
What about, you know, a lot of people point to the internet. I mean, it's made our life so much easier. You know, you can just and send something. It sounds like you're really telling us to be very formal in an email, when it seems really that's kind of the opposite of how most of us use email.
Right, it's fast, it's instant.
Well, you don't have to be too formal. You can say, "Hi, Mary," or "Hi, Andrea," and you can say, "Well, hope all is well, Sandra," and just sign off. You can make it warm with your colleagues. But if you're representing the company, I think not too formal. You don't, but "Dear Mr. So-and-so," or "Dear Miss So-and-so," it's appreciated and it is noticed.
It is noticed.
So formality in the professional sense.
Manners are always in style.
But be careful even with in-house email. And that's not watched as closely as the email that goes outside the company. But it's just equally up for libel suits.
Okay.
All right. So be professional, not sloppy.
And we want to hear our viewers' questions about etiquette and manners. If you'd like Mari to cover an etiquette topic, do send us an email at news@kusi.com. Just put 10 a.m. etiquette in the subject line, and we'll do our very best to answer your question. Or you can put 10 a.m. manners, because you know what? I don't think I know how to spell etiquette. I have to look at a spell check.
I'll have a class on that too.
I know. Okay, all right. Thanks
so much, Mari. We'll
You're
see you
welcome.
next
Thank
time.
you.
All right, turn an idea into a book. Antoinette Kuritz from the La Jolla Writers Conference is here with a local author, Jan Rasmussen, who did just that. expressions can say a lot about you.
So how can you use body language to make a good impression? International Protocol Institute of California President Mari Betts Johnson is here to show us how. Welcome to our show. You know, Sandra and I were talking, well, I do this a lot, and I know that's sort of a defensive posture. What do you think about that?
Well, it is a defensive posture. It shows that you're not open to what I have to say, or else you're not very confident. You're in somehow defensive in the situation.
I better quit doing that.
You better stop.
To me, it was just sort of resting my arms.
Well, on the other side of it, when your foot is out like this and you're like this, you might just be relaxed. But if you want to look powerful, you just have your hands right by your side like this, and your feet planted on the ground, not crossed, and then
Like this?
you have an open posture, and you're open to what people have to say, and you look more powerful.
Let's go over some of the things that may be some of the body language that you shouldn't be displaying. Some things that are a turn off that aren't good. Give us an idea. What are the bad things?
Well, since body language accounts for 93% of our message, we have to be careful on our posture. If I'm slouched like this, it makes me look like I'm not confident, I don't want to be here, I'm scared to death. On the other hand, if my shoulders are back, I look confident, I look like I should be here, I look professional. So one of the big things of body language is posture. Even it can be detrimental to your health. Criminals will attack people who look weak. So always no slumping, number one. Watch your facial expressions. If they're always sad, and you may not even be aware of it, well, then you're not going to be approachable. Make sure you're approachable and you have a nice expression on your face. You don't have to be grinning wildly, but just a nice expression like both of you have, and have your eyes look straight at the person. Otherwise, people won't trust you.
No darting. You know what's the worst thing? You go to a
Hollywood
party and you're talking to somebody, like I'm talking to Andrea, and you notice they're looking over their shoulder for maybe who's a little more interesting I could speak to. I mean, that's the rudest
That's
of
the
rude,
worst.
isn't it?
It's the worst.
Yeah.
And in the U.S., we maintain eye contact for about 70% of the time. And sometimes it's more difficult to stay looking at somebody's eyes. And the trick is to look between your eyes.
Oh, so
Just
look at
from-
the bridge of the nose.
Exactly.
huh?
Don't you go
look from
cross-eyed
the-
then?
No, you try not to.
Okay, Maury, how about this? Some people will come up to me and they'll stand this close, like this close, which is uncomfortable. to me.
Invading
They're
my
invading-
space.
Well, what about that? Clearly not okay.
Clearly it's not okay. It's an aggressive stance. If you think of mobs stay together. They're really, really close together. And then it breaks out in violence. So if we're too close to somebody, it makes them feel aggressive or they want to back away.
So what should we do in that?
Just always maintain about 4 feet.
4 feet. okay.
Between 2 to 4 feet between you and the person you're conversing
What about
with.
men and women? We have our favorite floor director, Jorge. Come on over here.
come on over here.
Is it different when you're advising men and women about body language? Come on in. Come on in. Stand up straight because
you.
we did learn that
Thank
lesson.
you,
But I
Jorge.
mean,
You're
when
so
you're
wonderful.
advising a man making an entrance in a room, what advice would you have?
Well, it's the same thing for man or woman. Have good posture. Leave your hands by your side like this, and say, "I'm here." You don't have to be like the social butterfly all over the place like this, or you don't have to slouch.
Right.
So, but men sometimes stand like this.
That's a defensive posture.
Do you do that?
It's the John Wayne posture.
what about this?
It's
What-
seen as aggressive. Well,
Jorge is doing?
then you're not very comfortable. By your sides.
Oh, that means he's going to kick some butt when he does this, right?
Exactly. And women, or you might stand like this, and again.
That's okay? Or no? No.
No, it's very girlish, or
Girlish.
boyish, you
At
know.
your sides.
Yeah, at your sides.
All right.
You know, and you can play with your fingers if you're really nervous.
Okay. All right. Did you get that?
And not to. not-
Okay.
That's the vision with
So,
everything.
one other thing about conversation, though, if we're having a conversation, Andrea looks like she wants to leave right now because
do?
her foot is facing out.
Because my foot is
Yeah.
pointing
Yes,
that way.
and your body language is pointing that way. If I want to talk to you, I need to look straight at you. But if somebody wants to get away, be aware. Set them loose.
Uh-oh.
This is what they want to do.
Okay, so
So you're not interested in talking to us right now.
Or if I really want to talk to Jorge, my foot will go this way, or I'll be like this.
So face
And-
the people you're
face
talking
and
to.
feet.
Include
And-
everybody.
all right.
Exactly.
Maury Betts Johnson.
93% of your message.
93% of our message is body language. We know it now.
Okay.
All right, when we come back, the 9-year-old who swam from Alcatraz all the way to San Francisco.
Yes, stay tuned.
This one. How are we doing?
Johnson is here with some doggy do's and don'ts, and then that your tips are good for other pets as well. I've got a bugaboo. I've gone to friends' homes and their dog will jump up on me right away.
My house, my dog, my house.
What do you do in a case like that?
Well, if your friend knows that you don't like it,
Well, now I do.
yeah, you can always say, you know, I just don't like it. You know, this makes me nervous or whatever. Do you not like pets, or is that?
Oh no, I haven't.
You just don't like them jumping.
She doesn't want it to mess up
I just don't like
her
them
outfit.
jumping up on me. And
true.
there's an allergy
True.
consideration too.
Exactly.
I love
well,
pets.
Well, if you can control your pet, and I can't personally control mine,
That makes me feel better,
that's
Mari.
great. He's untrainable. We did everything. The thing to do is, if somebody doesn't like being overly pawed or jumped up on, put him outside.
Keep the dog outside.
Put him outside. Put him in the garage just until you.
My dog's really gonna like you now.
And then you can let them in again once you've arrived and you're sitting down. Normally they behave then. It's just
She's
when,
gone,
it's when
Phoebo.
they're
You
at the
can come
door.
out now.
They're guarding you.
Right.
But
at the door.
are there things that owners can do in the first place so their animals don't jump up on people when they come to the door or whatever, which can be frightening.
Yeah. If you get them as puppies, you can train them or have them trained. But mine in particular, I got mine when he was 4 years old, and you know,
An old
he
dog
was,
cannot learn new tricks.
He was set in his ways,
I got
and
it,
he
I
won.
got it. You know,
so I
walking-
still have to put him out.
Everybody walks their dog, and all dogs do their little business. The proper etiquette, I mean, it's a no-brainer. You clean up after your pet, right?
Normally, yes.
Normally.
Yeah,
There are
yeah.
some-
You're supposed to
Right.
clean up after your pet, but some people don't.
Yeah, that's
And
bad.
that is bad. And if you live in a community where there's a homeowners association, or if it's an apartment, if there's a landlord, I would just write a letter to them and ask somebody from there to go and speak with that person, as opposed to approaching that person yourself.
You wouldn't do that. You wouldn't say, "Excuse me, madam, but could you please pick up after your pup?"
I think it really depends on the relationship you have with that person. If it's somebody you know, then perhaps you could say, you know what,
Oh, that means he's going to kick some butt when he does this, right?
Exactly. And women, or you might stand like this, and again,
That's okay? Or no? No.
no, it's very.
And don'ts, and then that your tips are good for other pets as well. I've got a bugaboo. I've gone to friends' homes and their dog will jump up on me right away.